right, and here in the top right-hand corner of the map in Tomb Valley, we have our blue Protoss player from FXO CIS. It is Elbegast. His team is down 1-0 at the moment, though, to Team ZeNEX, and their representative is down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Our red Protoss player, winner of game number 1, it is Brain.
Yep, you know, Brain, he just kind of played a nice, solid game. I mean, he didn't really try to do anything crazy, kind of turtled up a little bit after the early game was a bit rough for him, and kind of just bided his time, waited for his opponent to make a mistake, and luckily for him, Loli did make a rather large mistake, and that kind of got the ball rolling for victory. But PvP is a very different matchup. A lot of players are very strong in certain matchups, very weak in other ones, even at the pro level. So I'm really curious to see how Brain's PvP is as opposed to his PvZ.
And PvP on this map goes one of two ways. You either have people, because of the incredibly long walk distance here, that try to get around that by doing an incredibly quick 3-gate with a lot of pressure very early on, trying to make pylons into their opponent's base, because there is a pretty good amount of cliff line, as you can see underneath, where you can actually make that happen.
Certainly.
Or, if you don't take advantage of that, which actually both these players putting down 13 gates, so it'll be actually Brain, I think
that was 12 gates.
Yeah,
I believe
a 12-gate for Elbegast and a 13 gates for... Anyway, they were pretty close. But once you get past that stage, though, past that initial quick warp-in stage, reinforcing units across the map takes forever. So you'll see players take a really defensive position and then move into, really macro 2-base Colossus or something like that.
Yeah. Yep, it's PvP is one of those matchups that's definitely gone through a lot of changes. I mean, there was a time back when it was just like War of the Worlds, tons of Colossi versus tons of Colossi off of 2 bases, and then it was 4-gate wars for a while, and then it was the Blink phase, and now we're kind of into the fast expand phase, where we really see a kind of variety of builds. I mean, yeah, throughout those months there were people doing like Phoenix expands and things like that, you know, kind of those out there builds. Inca doing his DTs all the time. But, but overall, you know, there's been very distinct phases in PvP. It's been a fascinating match to watch. I love the mirror matchups.
And we have a couple of interesting things going on right now. Both players are putting down second gas, but a second gate's coming out for Brain, and with the Chrono Boost he saved up, we'll probably see a 3-stalker opening here. So try to get 3 of those out as quick as possible and hunt down forward pylons. His opponent, though, used a little bit more of his Chrono Boost earlier on for additional workers, so probably going to be some sort of a robo here whenever he has saved up the money, but he could go Twilight Council as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned earlier this is a map that people like to expand on, and the reason for that, of course, is because your natural does have a ramp that goes into it. It's not at the same level as a normal map ground, so it is much more defendable, and that definitely leads a lot of players to expand. Oh, that probe actually
turned around.
He could have gotten in there.
Yeah,
he was lazy.
So. He was lazy.
Looked, to me, that looked like a rally point that Brain was not paying attention to, because now that probe is going down to the bottom right base, it looks like. Oh, no, he's actually going back through the middle.
Yes,
just wanted to find his opponent. That's actually really interesting that he didn't choose to go in there like that.
Yeah, because he would have been able to pick up, or at least delay, the Twilight Council for quite a while now, as we see that coming out of Elbegast at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the Stalker was coming up fairly soon. I mean, he knows the timing. He knew the Stalker was going to be coming up. But I would think it'd be worth it to get in there and at least just check the gas. You know, see what your opponent's up to. But Brain feeling very confident right now that his build is just, you know, fine for holding off everything. And he is going 2-gate robo. So to be completely honest, I mean, that is just a very, very safe opening, and you should be able to hold off nearly everything with it.
Yep, very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, we do see Blink Stalkers coming out of Elbegast now. No real surprise. Forward pylons going down for both these players, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Mortals are pretty good at dealing with Blink Stalkers and kill them pretty quickly. However, Brain's actually taking a very offensive position right now, already moving up his 3 Stalkers through the map. Of course, he just wants to poke, do a little bit of pressure, but what this is going to allow Elbegast to do is just get some of those Blink Stalkers around and kind of, you know, wreak a little bit of havoc in his opponent's base. Yeah, this is about to turn into a very interesting situation here. And yeah, 3 Stalkers versus 5, it looks like, and a probe. Don't forget the probe. Or the Zealot. Here we go. And the probe immediately running in just to do some scouting, sneaking past the units as they fight. Yeah. Smart idea by Brain. Very much so. Big Brain. Oh, that 2-hit-point Stalker. Bye-bye. It died. Yeah, it did. As Mike Champagne would say, so brave, so brave. Shout out to our friendly LoL player. That's right. So Twilight Council coming up after this, but very, very late now for Brain, and he is producing an Immortal as well. So this is very interesting. I mean, I'm not sure what we're going to see out of him. Is he going to prioritize charge? Is he going for DTs? Is he...
You do see Blink on one base with a couple Immortals thrown in. That's something that does pop up every once in a while. So that could be it. I mean, he knows his opponent hasn't expanded, so he's not really under any pressure to himself as well. So yeah, I'd say ZeNEX.Brain is still in pretty good shape. Elbegast, though, he's at that point where he might want to try to jump in, but I think if he sees that Immortal, if he catches a glimpse of that, he's definitely not going to do it. Yeah, well, he might. Okay, he did. He's just going to focus the Immortal.
All right. Well, it looks like the Immortal actually falls pretty quickly. No, down to just 5 HP. Oh, God. Okay, there finally it goes down. Yeah. So now blinking back, this is going to be very difficult for Brain to try and take out. So, in fact, I just don't think he can do it. I think Elbegast is going to win here.
There it is.
GG.
Yeah, well, there you go.